Hello everyone, welcome back to that Tech Enthusiast podcast, and today we are going to be talking about some iPhone 9 leaks as well as iOS 14 leaks, and then also some stuff about Android, Google and Apple working together. So yeah, let's roll the intro. Okay, let's get started. But just before I do, I'd just like to say I have been having really bad hay fever, so I probably don't sound like I normally do, and I will probably have to, I will definitely be sneezing in some parts, but I'll cut it out and then just re-record the bit that I missed, if that makes sense. But yeah, it might sound a little bit like it's just been all put together a bit weirdly, but that's just because I've been sneezing, then had to cut it out and then re-record the bit I'm saying. Really annoying, but whatever. Alright, let's start. And I did not prepare. Where's the Google Doc gone? Okay, here we go. Right, let's start with Google and Apple working together. So on Friday, which was yesterday, Apple and Google have said that they are planning to build a build and contact tracing into Android and iOS. By doing this, it basically will create a feature that allows iPhone and Android devices to wirelessly exchange anonymous information through apps run by public health authorities. So what that means is that apps made by public health authorities, presumably things like the World Health Organization and companies like that, will basically be able to create an app which has tracking, and then that app will tell you if you've passed someone with coronavirus, or if you have been near someone with coronavirus, that sort of thing. But they have said it will still preserve users' privacy. So yeah, that's obviously a very important thing for privacy, especially for Apple. And for a minute then I thought my microphone wasn't on, but luckily it was. Although I'm not sure if I'm hearing playback, that's a bit annoying. I don't really want to make this show all about coronavirus because there's enough talk of it, so I'm not going to. Did I just call this a show? This podcast, this show, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I don't want to make it. I want to try and talking about COVID as much as possible. Avoid talking about it as much as possible, so I'm not going to. That much anyway. So, wow. My volume thing just went really loud. I feel like nothing is working today with Audacity. Or I'm doing everything wrong. This is probably will stop the spread. You do have to opt into it, so you can't. It won't do it automatically. It will ask you for permission first, and I'm not really got that much else to say. Oh yeah, something else that I also need to mention is that I was actually really struggling for topics today, so I don't know how long this show will be. I will try, and if I finish really quickly, I'll try and take a look to see if I can find some more news things, but yeah, I don't know how long it's going to be. How long this will be, but oh well. That's because there's not that much news. But yeah, iOS 14 latest leak. So there's been a leak in iOS 14. I'll also be talking a little bit about iOS 14 as well, but there's a new feature in iOS 14 which has been leaked called Clips, and it lets you test out dynamic and interactive content from apps without installing them. So 95Mac gave the example that you could watch a YouTube video without actually having YouTube installed. I don't know why you would do that, because you have Safari, but whatever. That could potentially be a helpful feature. It's just a nice feature to have. I don't Yeah, it's a nice feature to have. It's not really a helpful feature. I've changed my mind. Yeah, I don't think it's actually going to come that helpful, to be honest. Something else. I mean, yeah, that's just not a helpful. Well, I guess it is a helpful feature. Also, it's not a helpful feature. Something I'll try and do is I'll have a look at the latest leaks for Android 11, and then I will come back later. When I finish talking about all the other stuff I've got to talk about, I'll go and have a look at some leaks for Android 11 because I'm sure there'll be some somewhere, and then I'll talk about them here. Yeah, that's an idea. But yeah, let's finish this first, and then I'll go and have a look at that. So the iPhone 9, I'm pretty sure it's like the second or third episode I actually ever did. Talking about it and other news topics, as I always do. And first of all, it turns out that they're not going to call it the iPhone 9 anymore. Yeah, it was the second episode I did. Well, the first, if you don't include a little bit about me. And yeah, the iPhone 9 is not going to be called the iPhone 9, which is kind of disappointing. Because I think, it would have got confusing, admittedly, because obviously the newest one is the iPhone 11. I just don't like the fact that they missed the iPhone 9, to be honest. I think that I think it should have gone the iPhone 8, then they should have had the iPhone 9. I don't really mind it. They're gonna call it iPhone SE instead. I don't really mind that. I don't know what the S and the E stands for. I might Google that, but I think that originally they should have had their flagship as the iPhone 9 at the time. So the one after the iPhone 8 should have been the iPhone 9. The iPhone 10 should have been the iPhone 9. And then the iPhone 11 should have been the iPhone 10. But oh well, it is what it is. And so yeah, they've decided to just completely ignore iPhone 9, and they have missed it out completely. And yeah, the iPhone 9 will now be called the iPhone SE. Which is, I kind of like the idea of them putting the iPhone 9. It is a bit confusing, especially if you're not like into technology as much and you don't really like follow it. You know, you just want a new upgrade, and you don't really completely understand everything. You know, you don't want the latest thing. You're gonna have a look, because quite a lot of people will go and have a look at the numbers and see that, you know, the highest number is the newest one, and so they'll get the lower one. So actually, naming it the iPhone 9 could have been a business strategy. Like, maybe it could have been, if you think about it, because people will see that it's a lower number than the newest, which is the 11, obviously. 9 is lower than 11. They would have seen that, and they would have assumed, oh yeah, this is an old phone. But really, it isn't an old phone, and actually you could probably get like a different phone for a better price. For example, you could get an Android phone, Samsung A series. I feel like the A series are kind of the forgotten smartphone line, to be honest, because, you know, they have everything from budget to flagship level, but not flagship, because the S series is the flagship. By the way, the SE, I have an article open in front of me from Business Insider, telling me what the iPhone SE, what the SE stands for in iPhone SE, and it just says here, the iPhone SE isn't actually that special of an iPhone. It's intended for people who want to buy the. Oh, never mind. Oh, that's not even told me. Here's what the new iPhone SE means. That's a bit bad. Oh, it stands for Special Edition. Dull. So yeah, the iPhone SE stands for Special Edition. Well, but is it a Special Edition if they're going to do it? If they're going to make a new one? It's not that special, is it? Because they're going to do it again. Interesting. So the iPhone 9 or SE or whatever you want to call it, that's going to launch, well, it was meant to launch in March, but obviously it's April now, and it hasn't launched due to, you guessed it, COVID. And, oh yeah, there were some leaks about, here are the actual leaks. It was, on their website, under the accessories page, there was a Belkin Invisi Glass Ultra Screen Protector, and it's listed the models that it fits, and it fits the iPhone SE, 8 and 7, but they specifically listed the iPhone SE. Now, if you think about that, they're probably referring to the new iPhone SE, not the old one, although it is a possibility. I doubt it, but this could hint towards the iPhone SE, the new one. When I say iPhone SE, I'll probably mean the new one now. Potentially having a similar size to the iPhone 8 and iPhone 7. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Right, I'm on the Apple website right now. Shop by cases and protection. Whilst I'm doing that, some other stuff to talk about the iPhone SE is it's expected to have the same chassis as the iPhone 8. Yeah, I said that. It's also going to be powered by the latest A13 or A13 processor. That is actually the same processor as the iPhone 9. Not the iPhone 9, the iPhone 11, which means that they are going to be similar power. And actually, this is potentially a decent budget phone if $400 is your budget, because it's $399 or something near that, I think. There's also a new rumour that it might launch tomorrow. Today now. Wait, no, never mind, because this is an article from 8 days ago. Yeah. And I've accidentally closed Google Docs. Whoopsie daisies. This is why I don't record my screen, because it's just chaos. So, yeah, that's all I've really got to talk about on the Google Doc that I just accidentally closed. But there is something. So because the iPhone, I can't speak. Because of coronavirus, it is kind of starting to get a little bit hard for me to find news topics to talk about. By the way, I'm on their website and it looks like they've got rid of the iPhone SE part. So it's hard for me to find news topics to talk about. And I have just thought of one, which I'm going to go and do a bit of research and then I'll be right back. But the episodes probably are going to be less frequent and they're probably going to be shorter. Normally, I try to upload every Wednesday at that Tech Enthusiast extra, and then every weekend I'll do a news on Saturday or Sunday, depending on when I'm free. And that Tech Enthusiast extra is also normally pre-recorded on the weekend for the time being. So I'm trying to work on a little bit of the second channel. I'm putting together a really long video, and I'm not going to say what it is yet. I'm just going to leave it as a secret. But yeah, that is taking a while to put together. Well, to just kind of gather information on it. It requires a lot of research. But anyway, I will be right back. I'm going to go and do some research for for any Android 11 leaks, because I have realised that we've talked a lot about Apple in this episode. And also, if I find any other news topics, I will say them. So yeah, this is like it's like an ad break, you could say. You know, like on TV shows where they have an ad break in between. This is sort of like an ad break. So yeah, I will be right back. And yeah. Okay, I've got a little bit of information because I completely forgot that the developer previews are actually a thing for the Android 11. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about it. So then, it looks like they're actually ditching the naming thing, and they're just going to stick to calling it numbers, because obviously the iPhone 10 wasn't, the Android 10 wasn't called anything. It was just called Android 10, or didn't they call it Android Q as well? And then Android, this Android is just going to be called Android 11. It's not going to be called Android R, just Android 11 by the looks of things. And right, it's likely to be on Pixel phones out in September 2020 this year. But that's not confirmed. It was probably meant to... Oh wait, no, never mind. Google's keynote is going to hopefully happen in May, although we'll have to see about that. What else? I know that there is screen recording now in Android 10, 11. They have got... Apps can now find out if you're on 5G or 4G or Wi-Fi. This will optimize content and performance for however you're connected, likely stopping you from draining loads of data unnecessarily. That's a helpful feature. Some smartphones will let you schedule a night shield, so that past a certain time, a blue light filter will just come onto your phone. I like just keeping the blue light filter on permanently on my phone, but that's probably just me being a bit weird. Oh yeah, security stuff. It's going to change some permissions. So an example. By the way, this is an article on TechRadar. So an example of these changed permissions is that for an app to use your camera, access your contacts, or anything else like that, you currently need to grant permission. It seems in Android 11 you can choose to give permission just once, so you know exactly when the app is accessing other parts of your phone. That is a good feature, to be honest. I like that feature. As something else of this, they are also going to be give the option to give an app location settings access. What? It seems that the option to give an app location settings access. Okay, right, so you won't, for location access, to give an app location access or settings or whatever, you will only be, it will only be available just this once. So you can't permanently give an app location access, if that makes sense. So an app will only be allowed location access whilst it is open when you have pressed that just once. So it will probably say just once, or it will just say deny. So a message will come up when you open that app, and it will say the app name, and then it will say wants to have access to location, and you'll either be able to press deny or just once, which is actually a pretty good feature. I like the idea of just once. At first I wasn't sure, but then actually it seems like a pretty helpful feature, because you know that an app is only going to access those things when you've opened it. So right now any app can have access. Oh, my phone's going crazy. Right now, why am I getting so many notifications? This is Discord server. Right. So, as I was saying, it's an app will only be able to have location access when you open it. So you'll know when that app is, using a location. This is just a really good feature. It should have been added ages ago. Ooh, there's also a fix for lining up your smartphone on a wireless charging pad. So if you struggle with it, it's actually going to show an error message when your phone is poorly aligned, so that you know you need to shift the device to full to get the full charge. I will link this article in the description, because it's pretty interesting if you want to have a read. It's on TechRadar. When you're connected to Bluetooth headphones and you turn on airplane mode, the Bluetooth won't disconnect everything. this will save a lot of people annoying hassle. True, because I'm actually not sure, but for some reason I thought that you were actually allowed Bluetooth to use Bluetooth things on planes. But yeah, I tried to test it. I turned on airplane mode and it didn't. I turned on airplane mode and it turned off Bluetooth. But obviously maybe you are then. I've just Googled it. And right, the official global rule is that you cannot use any Wi-Fi or Bluetooth devices that are larger than a smartphone and which cannot function on flight mode whilst flying. Short-range Bluetooth devices like headphones and keyboards are okay to use though, apparently. So that means when I go on a flight, I can in theory I could use my Galaxy Buds, although I was actually meant to be going on a holiday, but not anymore. Because of coronavirus, but whatever. Yeah, as long as it's on flight mode. Yeah, as long as it's on flight mode, then you're actually allowed to. And actually, somebody tweeted EasyJet, am I able to use my Bluetooth headphones in flight? And then somebody said, yeah, sure, you can. That's nice. And I think British Airways have also said that you can. As long as your device is once again on flight mode. That is, well, yeah, there you go. You learn something new every day. But why was this feature not in it before then? So the new feature is that Bluetooth headphones won't disconnect when you turn on airplane mode. Why was that not already a feature? If you're allowed to use Bluetooth headphones and keyboards and whatever on a plane. I don't know. Alright, an improved dark theme. Every time I see a dark theme now, it just reminds me of the episode I did with my friend about WhatsApp dark theme. That was such a strange thing to talk about. Right, Android 10 has removed Android Beam. So if you don't know what Android Beam is, it's where your phones with NFC readers could you kind of like put the two phones together and it will beam a file across. So it's basically the closest thing we had to what's it called? I've actually forgotten the name of it. AirDrop, that's the one. Yeah, that's the closest thing Android had to AirDrop. Obviously not anymore. But in Android 11, they're gonna re-add something, which I'm pretty sure is similar to AirDrop. Have I talked about it on here before? I can't remember. But there isn't anything about it on this article that I can see. Yeah, that's pretty much it now. Yeah, there's nothing else to talk about regarding Android 11. In fact, the logo looks very similar to Android 10, so well, that's not really surprising actually. But yeah, I can't really see anything. Yeah. Okay, there's nothing else to talk about Android 11. To be honest, that's actually, 25 minutes of recording. That's actually pretty good. I think I'm going to end it here. So thank you for listening or watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, that tech enthusiast, or that_tech_enthusiast. But don't worry, I'll be getting rid of the underscores, I think, if I can. Subscribe to my second channel as well, The Alien Doctor. New video on there coming soon. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And, or follow me on whatever podcast platform you're using, and I will see you, or you'll hear my voice in the next one. Thank you. The last video I did actually got a decent amount of views, and I made a thumbnail for it. I'm not sure if you noticed. I'll put a photo of it on screen right now. It was fairly quick, and I wonder how many people can tell who was my inspiration from it. Alright, I'll tell you. So my inspiration from this was Mumbo Jumbo. He is a YouTuber. He's a really good YouTuber, if you ask me. One of my favourite. Minecraft Redstone YouTuber. And I know that thumbnail reminded me of like some of his thumbnails. Especially with the arrow. Yeah, with the arrow. But anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about today. Hope you enjoyed. I hope I'll see you in the next one. Or, well, I guess you'll hear me in the next one. I don't really see anyone. Just sat here in front of my laptop. Anyway, bye.